The following program, The Russ Belville Show, is intended for responsible adults only. We advocate to the repeal of marijuana prohibition for adults. We discuss the science, culture, and controversy about America's marijuana laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity and encourage all listeners to learn their state and federal marijuana laws. Opinions and claims made by guests and advertisers on The Russ Belville Show are their own, and The Russ Belville Show cannot be held legally responsible for their validity or reliability. Viewer discretion is advised.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Spanning the continent to bring you the truth about cannabis and marijuana law reform.
I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
From the promise of legalization.
And I think that we think it decriminalize our marijuana laws.
To the agony of prohibition.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me.
Now, here's your host, Radical Russ Belville.
Good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome. We have made it to the weekend. All right, it is Friday, February 22nd, 2013, and it's got to be 420 somewhere in the world. So glad you could make it. We're winding up our coverage of the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup 2013 in Los Angeles. I mean Glendale. I mean San Bernardino, California. So we got some video for you. Myself and Ganja John appearing on the PotCast with Adam Akadocious and Manny Blunts. We got a little 10-minute clip of that for you. Had a good time with those guys out there in the medicated area of the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup. We've also got video from, it's Rockin' Friday today, right? So Herb Thrasher's going to call in. We're going to get some great rock music. We got Year of the Dragon on tap. We're going to play High Times, of course, from Year of the Dragon, since we're recounting all these High Times fun that we've had. But today you get a double shot. You actually get two tunes, because while I was there at the Medical Cannabis Cup, I got to meet a fabulous woman by the name of Princess, who's with a group called Princess and the Rebel Rockers. They got an EP out called I Love the Radio. So we've got an interview with her and the title track from I Love the Radio. So two songs for today. Also on today's show, got a great interview with the Cash Hyde Foundation. They had a booth there in the nonprofit area. Of course, we know Cashy Hyde passed away recently after his fight with brain cancer, but he brought such awareness to the use of medical cannabis, Rick Simpson's oil, those kind of things for people involved with gliomas, brain cancers, other types of tumors, and they're still continuing the fight, continuing it on in Cashy's name. So we'll have video from that for you. Also, at the end of the show, it is Rockin' Friday. Herb Thrasher's calling in, and if you don't know already, Herb Thrasher is Crimson Tide. He's from Alabama, and there's a story coming out of Alabama where they had the biggest pot bust in the campus history, and so I took a little digging in there, see if I could find something to rant about, and oh boy, did I find some stuff. So stick around for that at the end of the show. But before we get to all of that, we got to get to our 420 radio news, and in the headlines today, we're taking a look at the Obama administration refusing to investigate a DEA possible homicide in Honduras. We've got New Hampshire's medical marijuana bill stalling, possibly because of home cultivation. The lawmakers in Nevada are taking a look at the medical marijuana program and what can be done to fix it. In Yakima, Washington, the bomb squad is called out when they really didn't need to be. And a federal prosecutor in Colorado makes a shocking admission about her prosecutorial discretion in a medical marijuana case. All that and more coming up here on the Russ Belville Show on 420 Radio. Thanks for supporting us. We'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
The High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam is recognized as the world's premier marijuana competition. Over the years, thousands of judges have attended the Cannabis Cup, sampling the best indicas, best sativas, best hybrids, and the best hash on the planet. In the April 2013 issue of High Times, read all about the sensational 25th Cannabis Cup that took place in November. Find out about the latest killer strains. Decide what to grow in your garden this year. Celebrate 25 years of the Cannabis Cup in this very special issue of High Times magazine. On sale now.
Hey, man. Am I driving okay?
The Russ Belville Show reminds you to never smoke and drive impaired. Hang out for a while. Share.
I think we're parked, man.
Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip and see.
Now it's time for our 420 radio news for Friday, February 22nd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Obama administration refuses to investigate alleged DEA killing of a woman and child in Honduras. This from allgov.com. Democrats on Capitol Hill want the Obama administration to investigate the deaths of 4 civilians in Honduras last year during an anti-cocaine raid involving U.S. law enforcement agents, but administration officials have balked at the request. On May 11, 2012, 4 villagers in a vote on a river, 2 pregnant women, a 21-year-old man, and a 14-year-old boy, were killed when local police entered the town in northeastern Honduras to conduct a counter-narcotics operation. Another 4 boat passengers were injured by the gunfire. It was later learned that members of the U.S. DEA participated in the raid, which raised questions of whether Americans were responsible for the killings. The Honduran government investigated the incident and concluded the DEA was not at fault for the deaths. But 58 House Democrats were not satisfied with the probe, which they called deeply flawed, in a letter to Secretary of State John Kerry and Attorney General Eric Holder Jr., calling for the U.S. to conduct its own examination. Officials with the State Department and Department of Justice said their agencies have no intention of reopening the matter, according to the Washington Times. Home cultivation may stall medical marijuana in New Hampshire, from the San Francisco Gate. A provision to allow people to grow their own medical marijuana could be a sticking point in a bill currently working its way through the New Hampshire legislature that would legalize the drug for those with chronic or terminal illnesses. This is the 4th time in 6 years that lawmakers have tried to pass a medical marijuana bill. Former Democratic Governor John Lynch vetoed the previous 3 attempts. Governor Maggie Hassan, also a Democrat, has said she would support legalizing medical marijuana, but a spokesman said Friday she has concerns about home growing. Legislators seek help for Nevadans with medical marijuana cards, from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. During a 3-hour Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, members acknowledged that it was nearly impossible for the 3,645 Nevadans legally authorized to use the marijuana to obtain the drug. Witnesses have testified that even acquiring seeds is illegal, and people have difficulty growing pot in Las Vegas's climate. Senator Tick Siegenblom, Democrat of Las Vegas, said he will soon introduce a bill to provide a regulated system where marijuana is grown and then distributed and taxed through licensed dispensaries. He said his plan is based on the Colorado system, where 24-hour video surveillance is provided at farms and dispensaries. The Bong Squad explosives team gets call for peculiar pipe, from the Yakima Herald-Republic. Police were understandably taking no chances late Thursday morning when what appeared to be a pipe bomb was discovered by Pacific Power employees next to a single-story home on H Street in North Yakima. The object prompted police to evacuate about 10 homes in the area and summon a bomb squad from the Army's Yakima Training Center. The bomb squad used a small dual-tread robot to approach the device, pick it up, and examine it before tossing it into a nearby ditch. A bomb squad member, clad in heavy protective gear, then entered the ditch and attached a charge to the device before exiting. Then, from half a block away, the charge was activated, blowing off one end of the cylinder. That's when authorities learned the cylinder was filled not with explosives, but was instead packed full of marijuana. Sergeant Mike Henney said later with a bemused laugh, quote, "I have no idea why. Never seen anything like it before," end quote. After posting a web update on the event, the Yakima Herald-Republic was contacted by a reader who suggested the cylinder was being used to extract oil or resin with a highly concentrated level of THC, the primary intoxicant contained in marijuana. Federal prosecutor says state law a factor in Colorado marijuana case from the Denver Post. The federal prosecutor who handles marijuana crimes in Colorado said in court Friday that she paid deference to state law initially when deciding whether to file criminal charges against a medical marijuana dispensary manager. The revelation came when Assistant U.S. Attorney M.J. Menendez was talking about a June 2011 raid on a marijuana-growing warehouse in northeast Denver that at first resulted in no prosecution. It was the first time a federal prosecutor in Colorado has admitted to declining to pursue criminal charges against a medical marijuana business because of evidence of compliance with state law. Menendez agreed the state law was complicated, and she said complexity was just one thing that makes prosecuting federal marijuana cases in Colorado so difficult. She said in court, quote, "There have been days when I have woken up and thought, Lord, just give me a good methamphetamine case. Something simple." End quote. And that's your 420 radio news for Friday, February 22nd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at the Cash Hyde Foundation and their representation in the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup that took place in San Bernardino last weekend. Also, we have new information on the whereabouts of Kevin Sabet. He's coming to Ohio next week. We'll tell you all about it coming up next.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the only way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at www.omarfigueroa.com.
I'm Sub Cool from Team Green Avenger. At TGAgenetics.com, we are working on the leading edge of medical strains. Our strains are rigorously tested for THC, CBD, THCV, and other critical cannabinoids. Know your grow. Check out our genetic diversity at TGAgenetics.com, the home of Jelly Bean, Jack the Ripper, Vortex, and other award-winning cannabis strains.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 13 minutes after the hour, and it's time for us to go behind the headlines, and we have some video from the Cash Hyde Foundation. But before we get to that, I wanted to take just a brief moment here and inform our listeners in Ohio of an opportunity for you to exercise some activism and be a burr under the saddle of our good friend, Dr. Kevin Sabet, Ph.D., piled higher and deeper, medical marijuana's number one enemy, is coming to Ohio next week. This is from Dispatch Politics out at dispatch.com. Opponents of legalized medical marijuana, including the man Rolling Stone magazine labeled the number one enemy of marijuana legalization, will gather at the State House next week. Kevin Sabet, a former official with the Office of National Drug Control Policy for the Obama administration, will discuss the medical marijuana issue Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. at the State House Ladies Gallery. He will be joined by Sue Tao of the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America and Marcy Seidel of the Drug-Free Action Alliance of Columbus. The trio will discuss the implications of marijuana legalization and potential Ohio statewide ballot issues seeking approval of medical marijuana for qualified users. Supporters have been circulating two different petitions to put the issue on the statewide ballot, but there is no indication at this point that this will happen this year. So I encourage everyone who can make it to Columbus next Wednesday morning. If they allow you to video or audio tape that would be awesome. And if you can get us clips, we would love to play it. If you need some help on how to befuddle Kevin Sabet and Kadka and all these anti-drug people, check out smartapproaches.com. I've got all sorts of tips and tricks in there, all sorts of links to the information. But the simplest way that you can diffuse what they're talking about when he talks about medical marijuana is to ask simply, Should brave Michaela, who's a leukemia patient right now, be forced to be vomiting and forced to be going through extreme pain until the FDA can come up with an approved fast-track medication? Because he's going to try to soft pedal it. He's going to try to say, medical marijuana is medicine, but we need to go through the FDA. We need to have approved safety, and we need to have, now we should fast track it, of course, but we got to find ways of getting non-smoked, blah, 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 blah. He's going to try to confuse the issue. And it always means somebody who's using it now must stop until something that he approves of is available for them. And that's where you keep sticking to that point. Keep it personal, and you will defeat Kevin Sabet and his ilk every time. All right, let's get to the video. The Cash Hyde Foundation, of course, Cashy Hyde, another young person. I think he was 4 when he passed away, but I remember hearing his story a couple of years ago out of Montana, suffering glioma, a form of brain cancer, and using cannabis oil to help deal with it. We've got video with the Cash Hyde Foundation from the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup in San Bernardino, California. Let's switch to the video screen now.
So we're down here to tell everybody about Cashy's story and let everybody know that we're going to do everything we can to help kids fight cancer and let the truth be known on the medical benefits that cannabis has, what it can do for the youth. It doesn't destroy the youth, it builds the youth. And so we're here to do something about it and network and get our voice out. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Nice to see you still at it.
Yeah, man.
Going
Ain't
strong.
stopping, bro.
I've been working a lot with Michaela Comstock up in Portland.
Yeah.
We've had her on the show a couple of times.
Awesome. She's cute, isn't she?
Oh man, what a perfect spokesgirl, right? She just
good seeing you guys, man.
Totally, brings a smile on my face every time I see her. So
yeah.
So Cash Hyde Foundation still going.
Still going, man.
Kicking ass, and now we've got the Cancer Militia.
Yep, Cancer Militia. Since legislatures took away our law, we started the Cancer Militia because we're going to help families fight cancer no matter what.
For folks who don't know, this Montana, where they repealed it and then it was saved on a veto, and then they put in this new restrictive super repeal.
They took away our affirmative defense,
right.
So all the local law enforcement has to do is contact the feds, and then they can come in and they can assist them and they can raid you. And you have no affirmative defense,
right?
And so you go to prison. And so, if you can't use medical marijuana as a defense in a federal court, we made the Cancer Militia, and it is our God-given right as human beings to be able to give ourselves and our children the safest, most therapeutic substance known to man before we give them Tylenol, McDonald's, or any of these toxic concoctions that the FDA says safe and is consistently consistent and proven to kill, be addictive, and be the leading cause of like over 70% of the 1,500 people that die each day from cancer.
I often say, the prohibitionists will say, oh no, if we legalize marijuana, use will go up. And I say, that's a good thing if they're substituting it for alcohol, Tylenol.
The next generation's always going to be smarter than the next, and if you can read, and it's a neuroprotectant, and former DEA Judge Francis L. Young said, hey guys, this is after a 6-month panel review of all these doctors, this is the most safest, most therapeutic substance known to man, and then the DEA goes in and fires that guy a week later. I mean, the pudding's in the cup.
Yeah. So we got all sorts of stuff here, and this, give them the website and stuff so they can find it online.
CashHydeFoundation.com, CashHydeFoundation.org, Cashy's Cancer Militia. You can Google Cash Hyde. It'll all link back to our Facebook page and our website where you can request assistance if you're a family fighting cancer. If you want to sponsor a reggae runner to a hospital near you, you can order IV poles and sticker packages. And we just do everything we can to raise pediatric cancer awareness, fight cancer with smiles, and keep Cashy's legacy of one love rolling.
Right on, man. The reggae runners. Good work. And
talk about the reggae runners.
This is making a difference. It is.
Oh, hands down, man. Like, you guys need to come with us to donate some reggae runners to the children's hospitals, because that's how we fight cancer with smiles. And we deck these out with IV poles, so you can put your chemo bags right on them. You got your one love, your believe. So these little kids that are seeing this are seeing a positive message, and at the same time, they're getting all the information they need about cannabis right through our website and all the links to go along with it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, CashHydeFoundation.com, people.
I wasn't in the thing, was I?
No.
Oh yeah. American Drug War 2.
Oh, yes.
Coming out in it in April. Special screening in June. It'll be out in some theater near you. You can help sponsor it. If you want it played in your city, you just got to contact me, let me know, and I'll let the guys know. And we'll bring it right to your town. And one of the best documentaries I've seen yet.
Right on. Excellent. Thank you, man. Thanks for your work. Whoa, sorry to blow your ears out there, man. Happened quicker than I expected. All sorts of craziness going on here. Let's get back to this.
This is your Funk Master.
What the hell? There we go. God, we got all scared. They got so loud on us all of a sudden. But hey, I want to tell people about, again, American Drug War 2, Kevin Booth out of Texas. If you didn't see American Drug War, you definitely got to see that video. You can go to tugg.com if you want to know more. And then there's that phone number there to call for details, 949-324-0786. And you can host your own screening of American Drug War 2, Cannabis Destiny. We'll be right back with Herb Thrasher after this.
Funky Roller Ring.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening, Groovy Cats? This is your Funk Master of Ceremonies, Big Daddy. And I want you to join me every Thursday night at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, right here at the Funky Roller Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Your home of soul, funk, and disco, baby.
Funky-licious.
There's always a party at the Funky Roller Ring.
I'm John Bon Jovi, and I've been given a script to talk to you about drugs, rock and roll, having fun, a good time, and all that good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, drugs is not a part of my everyday routine. It's not everyday fun. It's not good for you. All right, so listen, think twice before you do drugs, because there ain't no winners out there doing it.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Rockin' Friday, featuring rock, metal, and the hard edge of alternative country. You can get downloads and more information about all our Daily Toker Tunes by visiting music.radicalruss.com. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
Looks like it's time for me to go postal.
Hey, we are here with Duke Nukem and Herb Thrasher on the line. How you doing, Herb?
Oh, man, we're doing great, man. The world's all back to normal again, man. It's back to raining in Portland, and the cops are still instilling fear in the kids by arresting them for weed.
I know. This is something Herb brought to my attention last night by email. He said, dude, you got to rant on this. And not just a normal rant. It's got to be an extra special, super duper rant. And so I got one built up for you.
Dude, we're talking 74 kids, man, not just one. So it's almost should be 74 times the normal rant. But it's all good, dude.
It's coming up here at the end of the show. So we'll talk about that University of Alabama major pot bust that's going down. So I know you got some interest in that. We got a great tune here for Rockin' Friday, and we've got Herb Thrasher Flower Hour coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific, live, 2 hours, the best in metal, rock. If they play a guitar fast, it's going to be on this show. So, Herb, tell them what we got tonight.
Oh, man, we're real excited to have you back from L.A., and we're going to have Ganja John, one of our favorite cannabis monsters out there, man. He's just doing so much good work, and we're going to have him in studio and talk with him and just get a great High Times Medical Cannabis Cup recap from yourself and Ganja John and find out how in the hell he was able to steal headlines all week and be just a major dominating force in Portland this week.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So it's good times, man. We're going to have some great tunes and just kind of find out what he's got going, man. It's just amazing. There's a forgotten company that also made this Willamette Weekly this week, and we'll find out about that too. I have a little personal interest in that myself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Anyways, let's get to the song, dude, because you guys freaking rocked it last weekend. I know you had a great time. Can't wait to hear about it. And because it was High Times, it just seemed like to bring back one of the great classics of the 420 radio tune catalog that we have going, and that is High Times from Year of the Dragon, which this song was on the Blunt Force Karma album back in 2009. And these guys have been rocking, dude. They're just monster rockers. They're kind of metal, funk, lots of funk. lots of soul and lots of rock and punk rock in there, and just so much stuff. And they're a 5-piece band. They're from L.A., and one of the top dudes in there, one of the singers, is Dirty Walt from Fishbone.
Right.
And they're on tour right now with Fishbone, and so Year of the Dragon's kind of hanging out, waiting on Dirty Walt to get back. They're hoping to get into the Southwest by Southwest in Texas here in next month. But in the meantime, they've been opening up for the Chili Peppers, and they've opened up for some Jane's Addiction stuff and Bad Brains. And so they're doing some really good stuff. You guys check out their music. They have a great Facebook page, and they're constantly tweeting. You can follow them on Twitter, and definitely huge supporters of this movement and everything we've got going. So you guys join us tonight, Herb Thrasher Flower at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk with Russ and Ganja John. Have a great time, listen to new tunes, and we got a brand new 6 Feet Under.
Thanks, Herb. This is Year of the Dragon. Follow him at Year of the Dragon on Twitter. Thanks for the retweet, guys, and we'll see you tonight on Herb Thrasher Flower Hour, 8 p.m. Pacific Time.
You're so good to me. You make me feel so happy. You're so good to me. You fill my soul with purity. And now all I see is better for it within me. You're so good to me. That you know you set me free. I love the shit. Make me wanna do the flip. Wee, do it again. Bring that fat sack in, my friend. Wee, all right. Gonna smoke the green all night. Wee, once again. Go on and pass it to me, my friend. Some they like to hit the ball. Some just took the vibe. I like to roll the blunts, get them nice and tight. Different strokes for different folks, but no matter what you do, up and pass and make it last. Two lines that stay true. Wee! Oh yes, since Amelia is the best. Wee! Damn right, this hemp jacket is damn tight. Wee! No mistake. Hemp case to wake and bake. Wee! Oh, wee! Take some seeds and grow that weed. Some they like to hit the ball. Some just hook the vibe. Me, I like to roll the blunts. Get them nice and tight. Different strokes for different folks. But no matter what you do, up and fast and make it last. Two lines that stay true. On the wrong orange spotted purple haze. That's no blow, Denver ball, Ruby's push, like widow, Jerry ball, Rudy tie, Delta blue, Gallon miss, yellow cow, juicy brew, indigo, so many different strains and variety. I recommend them all cause it's so tasty. First you gotta taste it so you can say, hey, I knew y'all could feel it. They like to hit the ball, some just took the vibe. Me, I like to roll the blunts, get them nice and tight. Different strokes for different folks, but no matter what you do, up and fast and make it last. Two lines that stay true. You're so good to me. You're so good to me.
Hi, this is Dan Michaels. If you're looking for professional voice talent for your commercial or podcast, I'm your man. Visit danmichaelsaudio.com for more information.
Georgia,
Hi, this is Willie Nelson, and I need your help. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 20s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stop arresting law-abiding citizens because they prefer marijuana over alcohol. Nearly 2,000 Americans are arrested every day on marijuana charges. We're unfairly destroying the lives and careers of hundreds of thousands of people each year simply because they smoke marijuana. These are not criminals. They're average citizens like you, good neighbors who work hard, raise families, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities. We need your help to end marijuana prohibition once and for all. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
The cannabis community includes a diverse set of activists and nonprofits working to end the prohibition of marijuana. We take the time to hear the stories of reform on the Russ.
All right, welcome. We got special coverage here of the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup 2013 in Los Angeles or Glendale or San Bernardino. Actually, San Bernardino, where we finally ended up. And in the what you would call the Prop 215 area, the 420 area, the medicated area, whatever it might be, it was just bedlam. It was just wild. Lots and lots of people there, all sorts of booth babes and loud music and shows and different media going on. And of course, the various collectives and vendors from the Southern California area showing off their wares and their products. And folks, it was a time to be had, let me tell you. I, of course, ended up seeing Ganja John there, and it was a lot of fun. John was wandering around the cup with his cup from Seattle. He was actually wandering around with his High Times Cannabis Cup, and we were hanging out and visiting with folks and, you know, trading and sampling. And we found Adam Akadocious and Manny Blunts from the PotCast. Now, they do a great show at pc420.com, and come this April, we will probably have them on 420 Radio. It looks like almost a done deal. We'll get this worked out and be absolutely sure, but we'll be glad to have them replayed for an hour on our show. But we got some video from back there where John and I were invited to get back there with Manny and Adam on the show. So let's move to the video screen.
Really doing a show. We're just here talking to the crowd. We should close it out with Russ. All right, Russ, you want to come on? Let's close the show with Russ. All right. We got a couple minutes left on our podcast. Let's do it. You want a cameraman? Here, I can give you an honorary cameraman. This is photo with the podcast. Let's go. Watch your step. Yes. Hey guys, Radical Russ is in the building. Medical Russ. You might know him if you follow anything. Medical Russ TV. He's all over the place. Let everybody know what's going on. We are on the podcast. Howdy, howdy. How are you? Doing good. Hey. Are we having a good time at the Los Angeles, Glendale, San Bernardino? San Bernardino, California. We're San Bernardino today. San Bernardino? San Bernardino. I am, as a matter of fact. Yes, I see. You got it right. Old school. Let me know when you're ready. Back when I was a kid, we used to smoke joints, by God. We didn't have these fancy dabs and sticks and waxes. We would roll up some weed and smoke it, by God. And we liked it. You guys working the counter joints? We're chilling out. We're making it happen here. Los Angeles, San Bernardino. That's San Bernardino, California. It's the podcast. And as I was walking in, I saw a man setting up his booth. He was ready to go live right when the doors open. But I think the doors are on stoner time. I don't know if they open right at noon. I don't think they open right at noon. No, I don't think they close enough for stoners. I was actually driving through the doors at noon. I drove through the gates and I was on stoner time today too. That voice that you guys are hearing, if you're not familiar with, is Radical Russ. Hey. 420 Radio. Yes. Another family member. You know, it's all family right here. We had Hemp Beach and Hash Bar, and now we got 420 Radio. It's all over right here on the podcast. High Times Cannabis. How you doing in Southern California? I'm doing fantastic. It's what a better place to be on a nice day, I tell you. Portland, Oregon, it's like 45 degrees and rainy all the time. Big joy. No, never here. You know, it's nice. I heard it was going to be 85 today. It sure felt like it was in the 90s earlier. It's overheating my amplifier. Yeah, you're suited and booted today. You're all shooting. Yeah, flaccid. What the hell? It's Joey, man, thank you for
Well, this is
having
the
us.
place, you got this stuff, this is the place you're going to wear it, right?
Yeah, of course. And we did say it's in San Bernardino, California. So what are you smoking on right now?
I believe it's marijuana. Back where I come from, we only got 2 strains. Got some and don't. Let me tell you, this year has been amazing. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. I got to cover the election in Washington State, and then got on a plane, and the next day I was in Denver. So I did a wake and bake, a first legal wake and bake in Seattle, flew to Denver, and went to bed with my second legal bowl in one day.
That's out of control.
That was awesome.
That's probably an experience. That's what will never happen again unless other states start to legalize.
They're going to legalize in California or what?
They're hoping, right? They want to wait till 2016, is it?
Well, that's what I heard. Well, we're going to talk about that tomorrow because someone was talking about the legalized states. It's really hard for them to, they're not going to be able to get seeds and grow their own in those states. It's going to be all controlled.
Holy shit, yeah.
Is that true?
Well, what they got going on in Colorado, it's like a seed-to-sale control system. Things are barcoded. I mean, they keep track of every little gram in Colorado. And that's kind of the model that they want to use in other states. They want to make sure that not one speck of marijuana makes it outside of the state or whatever.
Yeah, I heard like actually in Colorado they have cameras in the grow room, the transportation of the medicine. They actually have to travel from. Hey, what's up? Hey! What are you having here, man? You just
jump in the mic. Jump in the mic.
Jump in the mic on my own.
West and shit.
Here, Russ.
Best radio host of all time. All time, right there.
Right here. No, Russ,
Just let me say that right now.
That's all good. We're magicians over here. We can disappear. Yeah, so what do you
I used to work for Russ. I started out in marijuana activism as Russ's audio editor.
Yeah.
And in Seattle last year, I won my first Cannabis Cup for concentrates.
Hey!
We're moving on up.
So how is it in Washington? Is it like Colorado cameras in every grow room and the transportation?
Not
You have to report like, hey, I'm about to drive down to 101.
I actually live in Portland, so I actually went up. I dominate the whole Northwest.
Oh, yes. I don't know, me and Oregon, we love Oregon, but they didn't treat us well on our exit to that state.
They treated us well. They just gave us a little goodbye tap on the ass when we were fucking driving past.
They said, here's a goodbye tax. Here's a visiting our state.
Here's a goodbye tap on the ass and a little finger up there.
They've actually gotten me to coming down to Cup Street that before too. So they don't just fuck with you guys, they fuck with us too.
Yeah, and they took all of our prized possessions from
every single gift that we got.
And we had amazing things from Oregon. We visited the Cannabis Cafe. We met a lot of great people. I love Oregon. You guys have a Cannabis Cafe. Do you guys know what the Cannabis Cafe is? Oh, you heard about it?
World famous.
The world famous cafe. It's this actual. It's a facility. It's a location that you can walk in and just hang out. It's a cafe. There's live music, comedians.
There's lunches.
There's seminars. They have food. You can order food and just sit there and smoke and eat dinner. What the fuck? Why is this in every state? It's like going to any sports bar and
we went up there with like a 30-piece band and did our fucking jam.
Yeah, it was out of control.
Well, maybe it was
Me and Russ met because I was going there when I was on dialysis, just getting high for 10 hours a day right before I went to dialysis. And he was like, "This kid's got spark. I need this kid."
Yeah, so now you're winning cups. Look at
I'm
you.
winning cups. We
So
won
you
the LA
see-
Kush Expo too down here in LA.
So you
too.
can see the future. You know what's in there around for us.
We call it the Belville Bump.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
I pick out talent, and they all become more famous than me.
That's not true.
But hey, I'll tell you, Washington State, we got a cool thing going on there. It's like they legalized an ounce of weed, but they legalized 72 ounces of liquids.
Guess what liquid
Guess
is,
what
guys?
liquids that are?
Hash oil.
Hash oil. That's a 6-pack of hash oil.
I don't think I've ever walked around with 72 ounces of oil before.
Yeah, that's a lot of oil.
But that's the Northwest for you. What are you gonna do?
It rains a lot. We got to do something.
Yeah, we gotta do something inside all day.
Yeah, that's why the concentrates are good up there. It's always cold. I'm sure that shatter stays nice and
Oh,
cold.
nice and shattered.
Yes, out here I've seen some people shatter. It's not looking like shatter anymore.
No.
That shatter is looking like some
Tassels.
puddles.
Yeah.
Look at some like sticky messes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just oil slicks. But that's all we do is shatter, stable shatter. I don't let it go out.
Where's it at?
In Portland, Oregon, Cascadia concentrates. You can get it in Seattle at East Seattle Apothecary. You can get it in a few other places. Look for it out there. It's coming to the Bay Area too. Cascadia concentrates. 2012 winner for the Seattle Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an honor to have you guys
It's just honor to be on, dude. And we're at 420radio.org.
420radio.org, 24/7.
And you just go and you just basically.
Well, I've got live show every weekday at 3 o'clock. We got live shows at 8 o'clock, and the rest of the time we do radio shows and music too.
There it is. So if you want to get it out, if you don't get enough of the podcast and you want to hear some more of this cannabis community, check them out. 420radio.org. Radical Road. Yeah, I know. I was looking at this. Jordan was covering it. Very considerate. Yes. He's all over the place. You know, if you like controversy, or conspiracies. Conspiracies. Here's the man right here, man. You recently left the site to go to the new site or something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people since May. I used to do this for normal, and then we parted the and I've had to like go and rebuild it as an independent thing. So now it's kind of like public radio. Like we do membership drives, and we got sponsorship programs. So yeah, now it's just like completely on your own.
Now it's not NPR, it's NPR.
We are the
marijuana
VOT.
Well, we'll get the podcast on that network. Yeah, let's do it. Cross-links and make it happen. This is all family. This is what the Cannabis Cup is all about. Not all this controversy that goes on and, you know, who had the best what. This is all about, like Russ said, I got marijuana, or you don't. That's it. You got some? Let's smoke it. You don't? Let's go get some. It's simple. No, look, thank you, Russ. Always taking time out of your day. Coming on the Ganja John. The champion, Seattle. Can I hold that trophy real quick, Ganja John? Oh, yeah. Look at that. This is a Seattle Cannabis Cup. I think that's the first PotCast Cup to say concentrate on it instead of hash. Yeah. Hey! Yeah. That's awesome right there. I've held lots of trophies for many companies that have awards, you know, DNA, BAM, County Connection, and it's an honor to hold one of yours. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. Shazam. Yeah, Reserve Providers also. Yeah. Oh, love Reserve Providers. Hey, those guys hooked us up in Amsterdam. I would not have been smoking good without those guys. Oh yeah, baby. I was a concentrate judge. You were with us when we were at the ceremony. My beard just got longer. It was cold. It's awesome. Well, thank you, champion, for coming on the show and making it happen. I appreciate it. Russ, yes. PC420, the podcast live. LA has their Cannabis Cup. We will be here again tomorrow making it happen. Making more things, doing more dabs, causing more controversy. Checking out all the videos.
Let's go do. Let's go do.
Indeed, let's go do. Welcome back. We're here at Rolla J Studios. That's our coverage from the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup 2013 in San Bernardino. My big thanks to Manny and Adam from PC420.com. They got a great show out there. And hopefully be a part of the 420 Radio Network as well. Hey, stick around. We got more coming up. The Radical Rant on the recent pot bust at the University of Alabama. And then we'll take it into hour 2, an amazing college class that we're going to get Ryan enrolled in.
We'll be right back.
And we've also got Bacon Dan in the studio. We're going to have a lot of fun, so stick around. Oh, and
because
now that I think about it,
straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation. NORMAL stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks may be far less than those posed by legal drugs.
This is Brian the Red, and you're listening to 420radio.org. So get a little irie.
Hey, sit back, relax, and have a puff or two.
Welcome back. We got a bit of a bonus here for today. We normally only have one tune in our Daily Toker Tunes, but I've got this video of an interview with Princess from Princess and the Rebel Rockers. They got a new EP out, I Love the Radio. She's a very nice lady. And I thought we would take an opportunity here before the Radical Rant to give you another little bit of a bonus. So here's my interview with Princess, followed by the song I Love the Radio. Enjoy. You were telling me that you formed your band Long back in the day.
Yes, it's a few decades ago, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
How has the music industry treated you?
Well, pretty well. I had a couple of hit records out of Jamaica.
Yeah.
I really, out of the Caribbean. It's been really good.
Good. And you've got a new single, I Love the Radio.
I Love the Radio.
What album is this on?
It's on the EP, I Love the Radio. You can download it from Amazon. It's all. You can get it from all the different music sites. It's all over the place right now.
That's easy to remember. I Love the Radio.
I Love the Radio.
On I Love the Radio.
On I Love the Radio.
And we're talking about it on 420 Radio.
Yes, we are.
That's 3 times the radio, people.
I love the radio.
Yes. Rebel Rockers. And we were talking because we have a show, Red Eyes Reggae Flashback. And the host is, I always say he's a ginger Rasta. He's got red hair, his pale white skin. And you were talking about how your band formed with...
Yes, with Red Locks. My husband and I formed the Rebel Rockers. Red Locks, we wrote all the music and we ran the band for 20 years and traveled all over the planet.
Yeah.
Red Locks Morton, yeah.
Right on.
A ginger Rasta with long red dreadlocks.
Well, let's see, Brian, that you are not alone, my man. There are more ginger Rastas out there. In fact, I'm going to look to see if I can find a Rebel Rocker song. He might have you guys in the repertoire. He's got a pretty good reggae collection. I'll look up, see if we can find some of that. So as far as performances, what's happening for you? If people want to see you.
Well, I'm taking a hiatus. I'm just getting ready. This summer we'll be revving it up again.
Okay, summertime tour then?
Yeah.
Just California or around the States?
Probably just California.
Excellent. California tour coming up for Rebel Rockers. And how about any contact? If people, do you have like a Facebook or something for people to get in touch with you, or a website?
Well, I'm so bad at promotion, but now that I have Melissa, we're going to be working on that.
Okay. Melissa White Chocolate Ballon here is going to be helping us out. That's right. Hemp can save the planet. That's right. So thank you so much, Princess. Rebel Rockers, I know you got a ton of stuff to do. I appreciate you stopping by here. Enjoy the cup.
I'm going to have a great time. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you around.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
I love the radio.
I'm driving in my car, I know the radio is playing its part, giving me the songs that give my life its spark, because new things are coming my way. The people, they talking in a new kind of way. Ideas flowing from the box, and I'm ready to rock. I'm hearing something never heard before, and it makes me feel like my feet got to touch the floor. You'll find me dancing in the street with the car pulled over and flying feet. I say, I love the radio. John Legend. The songs that make me sing along. I love the radio. Like I do. A reggae, rock, and a hip hop. I can dance, I can feel the love when I get in my car and the radio bumping, and Eminem, Bob Marley. I love the radio. I sing along with every song. I love the radio. A reggae, rock, and a hip hop. I love the radio.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
And you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Radical Rant.
Oh, yeah, we got some college news for you from the University of Alabama. And this will shock you, I'm sure. College students in Alabama are smoking pot. Yes, I know. Shocking news, is it not? Got some news. This came from the Crimson White. Now, the Crimson White is the student newspaper at the University of Alabama. And apparently, the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force, or WANT, I guess, carried out raids on and off campus there in Tuscaloosa. 61 students were arrested Tuesday morning. The Tuscaloosa Police Chief Steve Anderson called it a record pot bust. They carried actually a total of 74 total arrests on or near the University of Alabama campus because there's a serious problem going on here. College students are smoking pot. Now, it wasn't just the Tuscaloosa police involved in this. No, this is a task force, people. We got Tuscaloosa PD. We got University of Alabama PD. We got the U.S. Marshals involved, the Northport Police Department, and who else we got? Oh, Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office. And they began these raids at 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and conducted them all throughout the day. Now, in the course of the investigation here, this task force of multitudes of our law enforcement agencies pouring in countless hours of police investigative time, 2 months of time, as a matter of fact. It's not countless. 2 months of time. We just don't know how many particular cops are involved, but for 2 months, they carried out this investigation and used confidential informants, aka snitches or rats. Actually, there is technically a difference, but we'll save that for another rant. So these confidential informants and the university cooperating with the police at this time as necessary. The police chief said, "We used individuals known as confidential informants to go in and make purchases for us." End quote. All right, so we got all these cops, all these various agencies putting in time and effort to find these people who could be turned against their fellow students, usually the kids that get busted, and then, hey, if you'll go in and make some buys, we'll go easy on you. We'll give you a plea deal. We'll give you a probation, right? So go, little bait for bigger fishes, basically. Send the kids in back to school to betray their friends, betray their friendships, to have their whole academic life turned upside down, to live in stress and fear. So we've done 2 months worth of this investigation here. And so what they managed to accomplish here, 74 people arrested on 183 charges, mostly centered on the sale and possession of marijuana. That's right, mostly just marijuana. Now, a small number of arrests were made for cocaine, ecstasy, and LSD, and 3 weapons were seized. 74 people, and mostly you get marijuana and maybe a gun or 3 here. All right. Oh, but it says weapons. Let's not assume they're guns. I don't know. Could be crossbows, knives. Who knows? All right. There were, according to one of the students who saw the raids go down, he said, quote, "There were about 7 to 10 officers, all wearing bulletproof vests with handguns strapped to their thigh. 2 were just wearing street clothes with badges around their necks, and they were escorting about 6 students all in handcuffs." End quote. That's a nice day to wake up and be going to school, getting ready to go to class. And there's armor-clad men with weapons taking out your classmates because they might have been smoking pot, by God. So at the Tuscaloosa Police press conference, law enforcement in the area said they wanted to send a clear message to anyone dealing drugs. Quote, "If we discover who they are, we're going to come after them. Although a lot of people consider it to be a harmless drug, it is still illegal to possess it, sell it, distribute it in the state of Alabama. Therefore, it is against the law. We are still going to enforce the law, no matter how harmless people think it is." End quote. This, folks, is stunning to me. There's some real good to be mined out of that paragraph coming from the police chief. Number one, he keeps saying it. He knows it's about marijuana. There was some cocaine found. There was some ecstasy found. There was some LSD found. There was 3 guns or 3 weapons found. But the whole subject of the press conference is it. He's playing in our frame now. He's playing in our ballpark because he knows the discussion is about marijuana and kids smoking marijuana on campus. And number 2, the word harmless is in that quote twice. They're using our terms. Harmless. It's less harm. A lot of people think it's harmless. A lot of people think it's harmless, not a minority. And he implicitly acknowledges that what he's doing is merely enforcing a law, regardless of what the people think. We are still going to enforce the law no matter how harmless people think it is. Times are changing even in Alabama, folks. Now, as this story continues, the task force did a 2-month investigation, raids on and off campus. Back in 2011, they processed almost 1,600 kids for smoking pot. And in 2010, they handled 1,500 kids for smoking pot. Now, while this was going on, while we were dedicating scarce police resources and time and investigatory abilities to try to catch kids smoking pot at the UA, there's a report that came out on Alabama college crime on campuses. And there's a report that's mandatory under federal law called the Clery Act, where colleges and universities have to report their campus crime data. And from this report, this is from 2011 on a blog at alabama.com, al.com. One of the most difficult categories of campus crime, and perhaps the most worrisome for parents of college women, is forcible sex offenses. Most of these crimes aren't rape by a stranger, but instead involve an acquaintance. A National Institute of Justice report in 2005 found that 1 in 5 women, let me repeat that, 1 in 5 women will be raped or sexually assaulted during her time in college. And an investigation from the Center for Public Integrity found that many incidences aren't reported under the Clery Act because of confusion over what should be included and exemptions for confidentiality. So 1 in 5 may be a little low. One of the people reporting on this was quoted as saying, "We know that an awful lot of sexual violence against women goes unreported. Less than 50% gets reported." So what is it, 1 in 3? 1 in 2? And we're going to worry about whether or not they're smoking pot in the dorm rooms, or in some cases in this state, they were going off campus. Now, maybe they would reply that, we shouldn't be condoning these young people using drugs. Never mind the fact we're talking about a plant, not a drug, but that's a whole nother rant. But they talk about how one of the measures they might use to curb sexual offenses is blocking the use of alcohol and drugs on campus, right? A lot of these date rape, quote unquote, situations have to do with alcohol and so forth. Now, the University of Alabama tops the list of 540 alcohol-related arrests over this same time period, a rate of about 20 arrests per 1,000 students. So they do bust a lot of kids for alcohol as well as busting them for pot. Auburn came in second with 208 alcohol-related arrests. But there's a major effort to change the way alcohol violations are handled, according to this report. In 2009, University of Alabama started referring first-time rule breakers to student services, where they then go through an alcohol education course and community service rather than citing them and sending them to Tuscaloosa Municipal Court. That dramatically dropped the number of reported violations. The Clery numbers fell from 176 arrests on campus in 2009 to 15 last year. So, while we know alcohol is a major cause of these sexual assaults that are happening to almost, 1 in 5, 1 in 4, 1 in 3 college women at the University of Alabama, the punishment for using alcohol illegally has been drastically reduced. And yet we want to go and spend all of this task force time busting kids for smoking pot, which has never been shown to lead to an increase in sexual assaults, violence, or other reported causes of death, like overdose, like kids puking and dying and choking on their own vomit, and alcohol overdosing from keg stands and shots.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at RadicalRuss.com.
And lest I forget, shame on the Crimson and White for publishing the names of all those kids who were busted for marijuana. Shame on you. It's all the time we got for Hour 1. Stay tuned for Hour 2. For Brian the Red and Big Dan, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, tokers!
It goes down to